Hello and welcome to the Yami Shibai podcast, hosted by me, the Germ and Ghosty.
Nailed it.
Oh, I did.
We're
I thought I messed it up again.
we're 4 seasons in now,
Yes, we're 4 seasons in. I,
and we're having difficulties with the names.
I will someday get the name right. First try.
We're
Someday.
doing our best.
Someday.
For the uninitiated, that was our second take on the name shot there. But
I
we
couldn't
brought
edit
on.
in too much cursing and slander.
At this point, it just gone too far.
So we have a different art style for this episode.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that when we were like halfway through, but it's
Before
weird.
before we start about the art style, you don't have your microphone.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm in a different location. I'm in an Airbnb, and I forgot my microphone in a suitcase, which is not here.
But maybe we should just record before the next episode goes up.
Hey, you never know. Us be prepared? Never.
I don't think you'd have been able to record before the next release anyway, so better to have an
I
episode
want
than not.
I want to
Yep.
show my background because otherwise people will be, what the heck is that?
Ooh,
It's a lighthouse and there's like a giant wave. Like
that's really nice milk.
it's a bowl of cereal and the milk is just splashing it.
They put the toy right into the cereal.
Hey, just like the '90s, the dream is alive.
So back to the episode. So yeah, like the animation style is more like romance style, where they have like instead of just having big eyes, they have super big eyes.
They brought in some outside help maybe for this one.
uh it's hard to like if you see it you can tell a difference, but there's a noticeable difference between uh like a romance anime aimed at girls versus like any other kind of anime. It's interesting.
Mm,
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah,
And they were trying to emulate that style for some reason.
I think they brought in an artist to do this.
Why? They've never done anything like this before.
Yeah,
It's kind of
they've had
weird.
different art styles,
Not this drastically different.
not this noticeably different, but it's just probably the person they brought in.
And as far as I remember, it's just the one main character that has like the big anime eyes.
um I can tell you exactly why. There's two reasons. A, she's the main character. B, she's a girl.
Oh, she's supposed to be like the cutest.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's less so in this, but I find in other anime, they emphasize a lot on the lips.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, definitely not in this one.
No.
All I was saying is, I'm glad that you're doing the narration this week. I'm excited to see your rendition.
Oh, speaking about the rendition, let's get into it. Step right up and have a look. It's time for Yami Shibai.
Good job. Good job.
The episode title, Guess Who? It's a mystery.
Nice reference. We're all about '90s references today.
We join a girl at the train station sitting with her senpai.
I'm gonna need you to exert some self-control during this narration.
Senpai!
Oh God.
Oh, the internet exists. Oh no. She watched him from afar, building up her courage to ask him out.
This scene is like the most ludicrously art-styled one of them all.
Mm-hmm. Very good example of the romance anime feeling.
Look at his ugly ass friends. He's the only hot guy on the basketball team.
They don't even
They're
look
like
happy.
middle-aged men.
They just not even happy to be there. You can tell he's the main crush because he's a red shirt on.
True.
And now, at the end of their date, they sit with each other, waiting for the train. I feel like I skipped a lot, but there's nothing important.
Yeah, I was kind of glad you skipped a lot, to be honest.
I don't think there's any point to like. It's like a few extra scenes of her like building up her courage, asking him out. Like we get it, we know where this is.
We're not here first. Full story recap.
No. She builds up her courage again to ask if he's single, but a pesky train gets in the way.
Even that happens.
Pesky trains. He gets up to buy a drink, and she watches him leave, a flutter in her heart. She looks so sad. So sad.
Tragic.
She spots an odd character on the other side of the tracks. Is is that Gene Simmons? It looks like
The
he's
whole
wearing.
ensemble of kids busts into the scene.
Does it not look like he's wearing like makeup or sunglasses or something?
And the super high boots as well.
Mm-hmm. Gene gets up and starts walking closer and closer until that silly train runs by again, completely blocking our view.
None of the trains stop at this station.
Yeah, now that you mention it. And of course, repeat after me now. After the train passes, Gene is gone.
Well, that resolved me nicely.
I didn't have to worry about anything else. Next thing she knows, hands cover her eyes and they say, guess who? And we are treated to real footage of hands blocking the camera. Ooh. But the hands start to squeeze too tightly, and even after she says it's senpai, they continue to squeeze harder and harder. But then it hits her.
Gross.
Who is senpai? And the day's events pass before her eyes, and she can't remember him at all. We could really hear that, by the way.
Oh no.
I
Weird
could,
scratching sound effect.
I could mute it.
Nah, leave it in.
Yeah, it's not
Special
gross.
effect.
It sounds pretty funny. We get a close up of a real eye, and she yells out in confusion as she catches a reflection in a passing train window. That was so hard to figure out how to describe that.
Oh, is that what's supposed to be in her eye?
Yeah, she's like looking out between the fingers, and then she sees
Oh.
Jean holding their hands over her eyes.
Oh, I did not understand that. I
Mhm.
thought this was just a third person camera scene.
So, you know what would have really helped this scene if there were some fingers on the side of the camera
Yeah.
looking through.
Okay.
Jean
makes
says,
sense now.
What does Gene sound like in real life? Like, I don't listen to music very often.
Not really that interesting.
No, he just sounds like a normal
Typical.
guy, so it'd be like, guess who?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be like, guess who?
I guess a little bit, but not. He doesn't sound that particular.
Okay. And suddenly, she can't remember her senpai's face, voice, or anything at all about him. And we see her alone on a train bench, holding her hands in front of her face, peeking through. She asks out loud, "Who am I?" And disappears behind some passing people.
Whoa.
Whoa. The end.
Seeing somebody questioning who they were in the subway would not be an unusual sight for me. I would just be like, oh yeah, that's normal. Just walk
I
by.
don't have any change, ma'am. Oh, is there anything you want to say about the episode?
I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked that it was different from a lot of the stuff we've seen in the past.
I love the art, like the different art style for it. It was really nice.
Yeah, not just that, like the contrast between the kind of happy, squishy, like boy crush story and the horror of the real life footage, I thought was really good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Because
that
it
is
really brought out the contrast in the real life footage
Th-
versus, I mean, it was contrasted the first time we saw it. It's like, that's kind of weird. But this time it just felt like really, really out of place.
that's a good point. They really used it effectively.
This was the most effective one so far, I would say.
I always laugh about how anytime anime characters are going to confess their feelings, something happens.
It's funny that he didn't ask her to finish what she was saying. He's like, I gotta
Yeah.
go get a drink from the vending
He's like,
machine.
I know what she's going to say. I'm out of here.
And he never came back either, actually. He just ditched.
But that's the question. Who was Senpai?
Was he never real? I don't really get the whole losing the memory thing.
There's a few different options you can take. Did Gene steal those memories? Did he never exist? Like it's hard to say.
I kind of more interpreted it like the memories were stolen, but it is weird that he doesn't come back.
Mhm. Like he
Like
might,
that's part of it somehow.
yeah, he might have never existed. He may have abandoned her, and she's in her grief. Like this, who knows?
What was the activity that they did together? The
The
carnival.
carnival, yeah.
Is there anything to that? I can't think of anything specific,
No,
but
he was secretly a clown. I
that'd
don't
be
know
a
what
good twist.
I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was hoping there was some meaning to the start, but I
Yeah.
guess
Do you remember
like why a
merry-go-round?
carnival?
Yeah. Do you remember merry-go-round? He was the clown that gave them a balloon.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Isn't the Yami Shibai thing a carnival?
but
Maybe
it's
they
a
went to
roof
the Yami
carnival,
Shibai
not like an
carnival.
actual like amusement
Did we
park
see that
carnival.
it wasn't on a roof?
Yeah, I can show you because I just happened to take that image in the black and white.
Could have been on a roof. I see a building.
Yeah,
What's that behind her? Is that the?
Ferris
Wasn't
wheel.
there like a guy in like a bear costume or something like that?
No, that wasn't this episode.
But
Unfor-
at the Yami Shibai, uh,
Unfortunately, I skipped by a lot of that stuff. I don't think.
and if you look to her right, our left, maybe
Yeah.
I don't know how it's reflected for you. There's like a figure that looks kind of like a guy in a bear costume.
I also see someone who looks like they're going like this.
Oh yeah, I see that guy too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the guy that operates the merry-go-round.
So me and everyone else didn't notice that, so I don't think that's the case. But
I'm one of the top most qualified
mhm.
people to analyze Yami Shibai.
But the other person who's most qualified would be me. And I'm sure there's more qualified people than us somewhere.
I think you're more qualified than me because you watched the episode like 3 times and I
Mm-hmm.
watch it once.
I did notice.
So you're 3 times more qualified than me.
You could be right, but I don't remember that being the case. I think it was like an on-ground amusement park.
I'm just trying to find some meaning to the date because there's got to be something.
She's really lonely for her senpai.
That seems to be the main takeaway.
Uh,
Is there anything else that stood out to you?
well, about my narration, I should really bring up that I called that weird ghost Jean when it's obviously a woman. That I'm not apologizing. I'm not sorry.
Ugh,
I'm really happy
cancel this
about this
guy.
decision.
Well, Gene was kind of. She starts saying Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons was kind of feminine
Yeah,
in
yeah.
his dress style and long hair, so Gene Simmons is a gender neutral name. Also, Gene is a gender
Oh, yeah,
neutral
that's
name in
true.
general, so
No regret on my end, though. None.
we're good.
Is there anything else we didn't hit on? Oh, I wanted to talk about that piano stinger. And
Oh yes,
let's stay
yes.
quiet for like 5 seconds. And hopefully I didn't forget to put it in.
I have a feeling it's not as long as we were quiet for as well.
Probably. It was like da na
So
na
we're gonna be
na
sitting there
na.
sounding. Yeah, that was unusual for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love that piano stinger. Like it really like brought out the like what's going on
The
like
creep
feeling.
factor, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was a pretty creepy episode, actually.
Yeah. It was definitely unnerving.
Hmm. I was really worried that the fingers were going to start going in the eyes when the hands were on the face, which would have been really
What if they start
horrifying.
going noodly?
I'm
Yeah,
talking like Game of Thrones style.
it just suddenly goes very realistic.
Oh God, that would be bad. That would be messed up.
That would be so funny. Yeah, like there's a real threat there if someone's holding your face and squeezing.
Mm, gross.
But then again, they're probably like right here.
That's true.
But it wasn't her senpai. It was like that friggin' ghost girl.
I wonder if she would have guessed if the ghost would have taken her hands off her
Like,
face.
oh, wow.
Dang. Well, this has never happened before.
What do we do? I guess have a good Enjoy the rest of your day. uh, shall we go on to comments?
Yeah, let's see what the real qualified
Yeah.
individuals are saying about this.
So we have
So,
2 comments for the record.
only two?
Only 2.
Was there not many comments on this, or did they
There
all just
wasn't
say the
many,
same
and
thing?
many of them weren't good.
Oh, interesting. You're letting us down, internet. We need more people like me with good conspiracies. All right, so Ron Robertson, 2001. I'm assuming that's the year that Ron was born in. So he's only 23 years old at the time of
That's a
recording,
big
just a
assumption.
little wee baby.
Yeah.
Uh, he says, okay, I'm confused. Did someone place a curse on her for dating him, or
I think that's an interesting theory. I never considered the curse angle.
that'd be a cool angle. I
Yeah.
agree. There's no evidence of that,
No.
but I think what he is expressing confusion at is kind of the same thing that we were like, why this ghost erasing her memory. There's not really any reasoning for it.
There's not always reasoning. Like I can think of other episodes where nothing bad, like they didn't do anything bad and bad stuff happened to them. I do feel like there's a lot more question in this episode than normal.
I think sometimes you should um, leave stuff up to questions in horror. You don't have to answer everything.
Let's talk about that more in our final scores.
I think we're gonna have a differing opinion there.
Yarn Kirby says, "Did that come out before? Did this person have Yarn Kirby before the Kirby Yarn game?
I think that came out a while ago now. It could have been 7 years.
Will you give me a minute and I'll look it up?"
I'll look it up. You can
Oh,
read the
thank you.
comment.
Yarn Kirby says, "Boy, for all the over explaining the narrator does, it would be great if he could explain what the heck just happened." I thought that was
That's
really
funny.
funny.
Some people did not like the explanation here. Apparently, the original Yarn Kirby was on the Nintendo Wii. It came out in 2010. So
Okay,
you're just
so
old.
yeah. So if anything, they're lucky to get that name.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. I thought they were like ahead of the game for a minute. I just this comment really made me laugh because we've complained about the narration before.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it now.
I think it was lesser in this episode too.
I think the new narrator, if there is one, I don't know if I'm used to them or they got a new narrator.
I
But
know last time you noticed a big difference, and I do think there's a different
yeah,
narrator. Yeah. So themes and metaphors for the episode.
I think I got a pretty good
Oh,
one.
go ahead.
So the woman across the train tracks looked older, and it was symbolizing that if she doesn't speak her mind and express how she feels about the guy, then she'll be alone and lonely and forget all about the good experiences if time passes.
That's way better than anything I could come up with. That's good.
See, I'm just the only one that understands.
The best thing I could come up with is a metaphor about your mind betraying you,
I mean, that's possible
like
too.
dementia and
If
stuff.
you,
But
yeah.
yours sounds way more likely.
See, I'm just the only one that gets it. That's the issue.
So, personal scores. What did you give this episode, Ghosty?
I liked that it was unique with the contrast of the like really cutesy art style and then kind of the horrific realistic footage. Um, the story was kind of confusing. I definitely agree with that. But I also thought it was pretty creepy. So for me, it's an 8 out of 10.
Uh, I wasn't like, to me, I feel like there was too much mystery, so it kind of felt
Mm.
like a mess to me. Like not enough. There was like wasn't enough for me to feel for this episode. I like the art style. I'm not against more mysterious episodes, but no, this episode just didn't really hit me. So I'm giving it 3.
It
Eh,
seems like the more common consensus.
Yeah, and I forgot to add them together, but we'll never
It's
forget
11.
what 11 is.
So
Yeah.
another middle of the pack episode for us again this season.
What did we give last episode? I felt like no, it was like 13 or something. It was a little higher than this.
It's in the same range.
Yeah,
I gave it like a 4. You gave it like a something. I don't know.
yeah. I don't remember, but I think they're pretty close.
Yeah, I think it's the same range. I think most of the stuff's been. I think there's been some lower stuff too, but yeah,
So, the next episode is called Feet Steps.
footsteps.
Feet
I
Steps.
think that sounds like it'll be pretty creepy.
You think it's going to be creepy?
Um, I think maybe somebody is in their home alone and they hear footsteps upstairs and they're like, "Whoa, I'm the only one alone."
No, the right idea because Feet Steps does contribute to that, but not at home.
Are you saying feet steps intentionally, or are you just?
Saying what intentionally?
It's gonna be a long next episode.
I don't hear any difference. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just had to check.
uh, it's kind of like toothpaste, you know?
This is done. We're done.
Thank you for joining me, Ghosty.
Yeah, thanks for being you. Bye.
Teeth.